Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired until the day I met you. Life was so unkind. Your love was my peace of mind, and you make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel like a natural woman. Hey, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BOOZHOO, NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. My name is Natasha an Indigenous Cause, and I'm here today with Michael Lyons and NANABOOZHOO. We're just doing a live stream thing. Waiting for some people to show up. I see we got 2 people here already. BOOZHOO, nice to see ya. So before we get started, before I hand this over to either Michael or NANABOOZHOO, I was thinking maybe, I don't do this very often, but I was thinking I could do the Serenity Prayer in Ojibwe. This is the prayer that when people give up drinking and they go to Alcoholics Anonymous, sometimes they say the Serenity Prayer. And so this is for everyone who's walking the red road, staying sober. The Serenity Prayer in Ojibwe. Gitchi manadu. Taka we do go wishing. We ni ji. Nana kuda wendaman. Ji otapanaman. Inu Gashki Katosiwan. Ji Anji Satoyan. Ji Apachite Ayan. Ji Anji Satoyan. Gashki Katoyan. DJ Apachi Nepwakayan. Ji Gaindaman. Oh no. Hoa. Mi uminik. Mi quetch. Bisandawi I'd get you manadu. So, great spirit, get you manadu. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom, the Nibwakawin, the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, Doyle Turner is here. BOOZHOO, Nietzsche. What's up? You come by to sing to us? Nah. Yeah, I had a thing with Doyle for a while. I don't want to get him into trouble, but it was pretty hot and heavy. Nah, just kidding. And Levon, BOOZHOO Levon. How you doing? Welcome to the show. But so that was the Serenity Prayer. Trying to have serenity to accept the things you cannot change. Like, what can't you change? Your past, your height. I mean, you can change your weight, but, whatever. The courage to change the things you can. Sometimes you gotta change, who your friends are. You gotta quit drinking. You gotta quit eating McDonald's if it's not good for you no more. And the wisdom. You gotta have the wisdom to know the difference. Sometimes you don't even know what you gotta change. No. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this over to Michael. You wanna say hello?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, everybody. I'm gonna put Michael on. Michael Lyons is the creator and whatever of BOOZHOO, NANABOOZHOO. And he's also got some children's books in the Ojibwe language for sale on Amazon.com. He's a cartoonist and he plays guitar and he's a rock star. He's a rock star cartoonist. Nah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Lyons. Get up here. I'm going to go stand over here.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm going to try to make this as seamless as possible. Welcome to the live stream. I thought I would just stop in and say hello. We'll have NANABOOZHOO out here in a minute. I noticed the last time I did this, the guitar wasn't too bad with the, I've got nothing hooked up here. Doyle, you had a nice sound when you did your live stream. Was that just on a cell phone or were you plugged in through I have a mixer and stuff, but it hums real bad. Anyway, I told myself not to introduce the show again, because that's what I do on almost every show, is that I'll reintroduce that this show is about Ojibwe language and culture and stuff. And, but as a little bit of an introduction, it's not really an introduction, but yesterday I got a picture from somebody who had ordered one of my books, Mixed Blood. And it was a picture of his daughter, who was maybe second grader, smiling and reading my book. And it was so satisfying to see a little kid appreciating a book I'd written. And so it reminded me of that. This show is really, it got its start before NANABOOZHOO and Natasha started teaching the Ojibwe word of the day. I had a comic strip called Ojiberish, where I would teach an Ojibwe phrase or a word. And the idea was that I would post on Facebook, and I made some videos with music behind it of my cartoons, but there would be a link to my Amazon page. And I thought, well, this way people who are interested in Ojibwe language might feel compelled to buy some of my books. And sure enough, they were. And now we're going on 5 years later, and I'm starting to see, every month I sell a few books. And it was my childhood dream to be a cartoonist. And you never know, what will be the thing that makes you feel like, oh, that goal got met. I used to say, if I could just be a professional cartoonist, I wouldn't even care how much money I make. You go, well, what makes a person a professional cartoonist? I was professional in college when I had a comic strip in the newspaper. But the reality is you never feel like you ever really make it. There's always some qualifier well, yeah, but, I probably spent more money than I've made being a cartoonist. Anyway, which brings me back to the show. So after doing that for a year or so, I heard a little voice tell me to order a puppet and maybe I should try to do something kind of like Ernie and Bert on Facebook. And so I got NANABOOZHOO and I, bought a wig and put my own bandana and choker on him and headset. And just kind of shared it. And I've had so much encouragement from old friends to new friends, little kids, which is the most satisfying, elders, it's just been native and non-native. People have been like, hey, it's so cool that you're doing that. And so one of the things I got to do all this is sometimes I'll try to teach an Ojibwe word musically. So the word for blueberry pie is really long. And to learn it, it's difficult because it is so long. In Ojibwe, blueberry pie is Mina Bushki Mina Sagani Batusi Jagani Bakwajigan. And it's blueberry sauce in a pie bread or something like that. So I wrote a little ditty with a much like unnecessarily dramatic chord climb. You know, you might appreciate this, Doyle. It's like A minor to B to C9. But it has both NANABOOZHOO and Natasha's voice in it. So it sounds like this. And I wanted a piece of blueberry pie. So I went up and I asked this guy, but he only spoke Ojibwe. So I had to say, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. Bakwajikan, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. Bakwajikan, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. Bakwajikan, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. Bakwajikan. So I don't know why it's so sad to say, "Did you have some blueberry pie?" But then Natasha gets in there and it's like changes a little bit. Let's face it, I think I just stole the chords from Landslide. She goes, and I wanted a piece of blueberry pie, so I went up and I asked this guy. He only spoke Ojibwe, so I had to say, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. And if I had my pick, I'd rock out, yeah, yeah. So, Mina bushki mina sagani batusi chikani. And then there was one song we did where I wanted to teach the Ojibwe term for Leech Lake. So I was like, so I wrote a song about Leech Lake, how to say it in Ojibwe. Gazaga squad Jamaica, Gazaga squad Jamaica. It's fun when you sing it. Now Natasha's gonna bring it. Gazaga squad Jamaica, 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 Gazaga squad. Gazaga squad Jamaica. And the more I sing in falsetto and Natasha voice, the more I like doing it. It is so stupid. So like this afternoon I was on the phone with a producer from a radio show called Native America Calling. And next week they're going to have us on guests for this Native America Calling show. And it's not on video at all, so I'm just calling in. But she asked if they could also interview NANABOOZHOO and Natasha. And I'm like, yeah, sure. It'll just sound like this. And I realized when I do the Natasha voice, lots of times I kind of bug out my eyes and then I make a big smile. Like, hi, this is Natasha. Oh, you know, because then this kind of helps with the character. You know, it's so insane. But when I do NANABOOZHOO voice, it's, you know, still Mr. Cool voice. So, how you guys doing tonight? I hear there's another lockdown coming. And I'm like, I didn't know the old one was over. I've been under house arrest for so long now. Really hasn't been a problem for me. Anyway, so Were there any other Ojibwe? This was one. How I do that? Can make Wayne Dane and how does it go? Oh, it says. Can make Wayne Dane and do you remember? Can make Wayne Dane and means do you remember? In Ojibwe I say, for do you remember? Can make Wayne Dane and means do you remember? Do you remember? Can make Wayne Dane and do you remember? So like when I used to teach Ojibwe, I'd ask the kids, do you guys remember how to say coffee in Ojibwe? How do you say coffee in Ojibwe? Can make Wayne Dane and do you remember? And the kids would go, Makere mash kiki wabu. Because they all knew it was black medicine water. Makere mash kiki wabu. All right. Well, without further ado, I kind of feel like I should turn the microphone over to NANABOOZHOO, the star of the show. Last year at this time, we were visiting a lot of schools. And it was really fun because I would show up. And I'd like to bring all the kids to the gym sometimes. And I would bring out NANABOOZHOO and Natasha to introduce me, and then I would play songs and tell stories and stuff. But the little kids just naturally, they knew to interact one-on-one with NANABOOZHOO. They wouldn't look at me, they'd look at NANABOOZHOO and talk. But the older kids would just answer me and be like, no, don't look at me. But in any case, see what happened to your drumstick. Wakakokwanak, or your Daweigan Mitig. Daweigan Mitig, your drumstick. So if you guys get a chance to see Doyle Turner sing on his live stream, it's really worth your 15 minutes, however long you performed. Check him out. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, hey, BOOZHOO! And yeah, thank you so much, Michael. That wasn't that awkward. So yeah, welcome back to the live stream. BOOZHOO, everybody. I am NANABOOZHOO, and today our Ojibwe word of the day. Let's see. What should we talk about? We could talk about the medicine wheel. The Mushkiki de Tibisaid? Yeah, why not? All right. Today's Ojibwe word of the day, Mushkiki de Tibisaid. Medicine wheel. And if you ever saw a medicine wheel before, I think I have one on a drum around here. Medicine wheel is divided into fours. And they usually have four colors. White, black, red, and yellow. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the colors of the medicine wheel, the Mushkiki de Tibisaid. But the four different colors represent So many things. So many things in the Ojibwe way recognize that so many things are in fours. You think about, there are 4 seasons: summer, fall, winter, spring. There are 4 directions: north, south, east, west. There's earth, wind, fire, and water. There's 4 elements. There are 4 stages in life. There's and it just goes on and on. Everything's in fours. You know, him and her, us and them. But so when a person does a ceremony, lots of times they'll give tobacco to the 4 directions, and then they'll give it to like Mother Earth and to Gitchimanadu, to all their relations. You know, there are 4 doors on 4 turns in a sweat lodge ceremony. Everything's 4s. But one of the things you can do for like wellness, the reason they call it a medicine wheel is that medicine was more than just pills, like like you were calling coffee the black medicine water. It's like, yeah, it is, because it's medicine that makes you feel better. If you're all sleepy and groggy, it'll wake you up. It can help keep you regular when you got to go number 2. It'll clean you out. It's good for you. And it was black and it was water. So Ojibwe people called it black medicine water. It wasn't just tea. It actually made you feel better. So the medicine wheel is a wheel that helps us to understand and ultimately to feel better. It is a medicine wheel. We're supposed to use it to feel better. So this one thing is in 4s. They say the human being has 4 states of being: mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. So like one of the quadrants, I think it's north. It represents the mental. I'm not sure about that. Well, let's say you're anxious. You got anxiety and depression, and you can't get with it. You're not, or maybe you're a little sick even. You're out of balance. You can look at yourself in these 4 quadrants and go, what's going on? Let me just focus on, first of all, how am I mentally? What am I thinking about? Am I just glued to the Facebook and Twitter and I think about politics morning, noon, and night? Is there some cause that what's going on in my brain? Am I watching scary movies or playing video games? Am I visiting websites I shouldn't be visiting? Whatever it is. What's going on in your head? What are you feeding your brain? And then you move on, and let's say to the spiritual side. What's your spiritual life like? Do you have a spiritual practice? Do you pray? Do you put out tobacco? Do you go to church or whatever? Do you sing? If you don't have a spiritual life, then all you have is a material life. And so, material people, they only care about like stuff they have. They care about their car and buying stuff and stuff you can have. Everything else is spiritual. Love, connection with the Creator, creativity, finding your path. Those are all spiritual things. But you got to examine yourself. How am I spiritually? Is that something I need to work on? Then you move on to emotionally. Okay, how are my emotions? Am I scared or angry? Or do I have grief? Am I happy? Do I have control over my emotions, or am I a slave to the emotions? Am I always fighting with my girlfriend? Do I have to be right all the time? you know. Oh, I'm all emotional. I can't even drive to Walmart without yelling at somebody. Move, you idiot. I'm trying to get to Walmart. You know, if you're like that, then you don't have control over your emotions. They say an Anishinaabe man should be stoic, you know, just like that. You gotta look like you just came back from killing a buffalo. Our people didn't hunt buffalo. We were fishermen. Well, you want to look like you just came back from catching a fish? This isn't Dances with Salmon, you know. Can anybody name that movie? This isn't Dances with Salmon, you know. That's from what you call it? Smoke Signals. And then finally, physical. How are you physically? The stuff that tastes the best and will give you the short term, make you feel good, will make you feel bad in the long run. Like, who doesn't like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and Coca-Cola and fry bread? You know, sounds like a feast. When you get done eating that much grease and that much sugar, there will be a crash, and it throws your body into, you know, you'll become just so fat. And when you're physically fat, it affects your emotions, your mind. That's why it's a wheel. Everything needs to be in balance. So it's not enough to just, oh, I lifted weights and I'm all healthy physically, but then your mind is all, you know, filled with horror stories and, you know, ugly stuff. Or your spirit, you know, all you care about is buying a handbag. Oh, I got a Gucci handbag. That's $1,000 purse. Look at me now. I'm so happy. Or like your emotions, you know, you're super mad at the man. You know, you're always fighting with somebody. And you think, oh, yeah, but it's important. You'd be mad too if you were in my shoes. Doesn't matter. If you don't have control over your emotions, then your emotions have control over you. Didn't you learn anything from Spock? So that's a medicine wheel. It divides everything in fours. You know, people get touchy when they say, oh, what about the races? It's like, yeah, there's white, black, red, and yellow. Hey, that's racist, man. You calling the Asian people yellow? And you're calling Indians red? What, like red skin? It's like, would you calm down? You know, white people aren't white either. And black people aren't black. Everybody's a like variation of tan. Okay? You know. But it segregates, you know, it's groups. There are people from, you know, Scandinavian areas and who do well in the cold climates, signified by white. And there are people who are in Africa who, you know, are a different type of race. They were signified by black. And Indians and Mexicans and, you know, those were the red man. And then the yellow is everyone else, the Asians. We didn't think they looked like the Simpsons. Who am I fighting with? I don't even know this invisible person who's like contradicting everything I say. Oh, really? You notice that a lot of people, you know, everybody has that one friend who's like outraged all the time, no matter what, whatever the cause is. You know, it's like, hey man, you don't recycle? Why don't you separate your plastics and your paper? You know, don't you even care about Mother Earth? And he gets in his car and drives away. So yeah. Anyway. Mushkiki de Tibisade, a medicine wheel. And you have been watching BOOZHOO, NANABOOZHOO, podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO. This is the lovely and talented Natasha. BOOZHOO! And over here is Michael, BOOZHOO. And hey, Rochelle Pittman, BOOZHOO. Now that you're here, I feel bad that I'm leaving. But I'm gonna mahjong before I wear out my welcome and my charm. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up on the video if you like it. And share this with your friends. Oh, and if you want to order books by Michael Lyons, usually there's a link in the description. I don't know if these have it or not. But he's got books at Amazon that are worth checking out. Alright, miigwech, Ganawabieg. Thank you for watching. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minawa. Oh, wa. Alright, I'm going to get off camera.